Old versus new, new versus old. Is there a difference? Is there a design difference? Is there a quality difference? Let's go through it. Today specifically, we're gonna be talking about Dior and Bottega because you guys know those two fashion houses are dear to my heart. And I just wanna share the differences between the two. My name is Jenny. If you guys know me and know my channel, you know I'm a little obsessed when it comes to handbags. I love luxury, contemporary, you name it. And most importantly, we love doing hauls, reviews, comparisons, chit chat, anything handbag related, because at the end of the day, hopefully this channel will help you decide if that bag is right for you. And if you're not following me on Instagram, please stop by and say hello. I would love to chat handbags with you. And let's just get started. Like I mentioned, I wanna kick it off with Bottega because I wanna talk about differences. So here is my Bottega Mini Jodie. You guys know I've been on this Bottega craze, and I especially love the Jodie collection just because there's something so usable about it and just so simplistic that I just love it so much. I have this one, I also have the teen size, but we're gonna be comparing this Mini Jodie over here to the vintage. Now this is not quite a Mini Jodie. This one is called, actually I'll drop it over here. This, I think back then was considered their vanity piece, but I thought it was still really comparable because functionality wise and look, it's very, very similar, right? They're both made out of interchato leather. If I'm saying that incorrectly, I am so sorry. But basically what that means is the Bottega leather is weaved and it's hand weaved. I'm pretty sure back then vintage was hand weaved as well, but correct me if I am wrong. This one is about 20 years old, but in fantastic shape. You can see that there is no issues with any of the weaves. Everything is still in place. And if you could feel it, it feels really soft and buttery. This is the newest re-edition version. And again, like, let me just show you guys everything up close. So you can see the leather is very buttery and soft. Nothing is going to be 100% the same because like I mentioned, it is hand woven. So you're gonna get imperfections like creases and sometimes the weave will pop out. In my opinion, that's really the design and the reason why we all love it, because there's a lot of imperfections and that's what makes the bags. The weaves are all slightly different. Some of them stick out a little bit, some of them don't. But either way, like, it just makes the bag. Here is the vintage version. You see that this one is actually a lot more cohesive than the other one. Everything is very even, whereas on the new version, it's not as composed. But this one is, everything is kind of in alignment and everything is woven on the bottom and top. Both are buttery soft, both made out of lambskin and both super soft and luxurious. Now this one has, there's nothing in this bag. I do not have this stuff, but it holds more of a shape. So even without having items in this bag, it still feels very substantial in the fact that the shape will kind of remain the same. And because the size is tiny, the shape kind of will just form itself. This one, on the other hand, I do have stuff right now with the dust bag, so it does hold its shape. If you remove everything out, the shape isn't quite there. Let me just show you what I mean. So here it is with nothing in it. You see how much, there's not as much structure, so you need to put things in it. But you guys know me, I kind of like things that kind of mold and are a little bit like this. So it gives that more casual vibe. Now, the difference with this is this originally is meant to be a vanity. However, everyone uses this as a bag, just like a handheld bag. It doesn't fit over your shoulders, but it's so small that it's just supposed to sit like this, and it's so light, you don't really feel it. There is a button over here and it opens. Because the button opens, you get all the space to actually drop things inside. Whereas the other one, the space is very limited. So if you can see in here, There's so much room. Honestly, I can already tell it fits a lot. This inside is a micro suede. It says Bottega in there, and it is just one large space. Also, no internal pockets, but this honestly fits so much. Way more probably than the new version I have. This version over here is harder to get in and out because if you look at the opening of this, it's curved. So you only have this much room to actually open the bag. See, you really are working with like this much space, right? And anytime with this, I do have to, like, if I'm putting my phone in here, I have to like wiggle a little bit to get it in there. I have to really puzzle together what fits in here so it doesn't, you know, interfere with the opening. And sometimes if I stuff it a little too much and I pull this, it does get a little hard to get out. The more you use this, the smoother the leather will become, but it's just the size and the shape. This doesn't happen on my teen version because the teen size is bigger, so the opening is a lot wider. What I appreciate about this one is the fact that this comes undone and you do get all this space. So you're not dealing with a curve like this. You can actually just go in here, literally reach whatever, and it's not gonna be a jigsaw puzzle to get things in here. So I was wishing that they would come out with another version of this. And to my surprise, someone actually let me know that they did. Actually, I think when I watched Melissa Sedera's last video, she did like a vintage Bottega video, and she had mentioned they re-editioned this one. It's over here. But the price point is, I mean, Bottega new prices is just kind of a lot. However, they did. So it does have the same like vanity shape that people are using for bags. And honestly, like, I can't say I love one more than the other. I definitely still like both. I like both for different reasons. I think this is just like a fashion like statement piece because of the knot. But this one is actually usable and it's still cute. So it's more functional if you're looking for functionality. But if you're like me and can't help but to like something that's just so adorable, then yes, like the Jodie is the cutest thing ever. But I would say like they're both really comparable and I like both of them. This one, again, is not mine. This is borrowed from Bag Crush, which is my small business I'm doing with my friend. This is gonna be in the next drop, which is happening Tuesday of next week. So if you guys are interested, this will be a part of that. But nonetheless, I wanted to make sure I do a video showing the comparison because I know a lot of you guys had questions in regards to old versus new. Okay, next up is Dior. We got the latest saddle versus my vintage saddle. And I can quickly tell you which one I gravitate more towards. And if I could do it again, what would I do? I would probably stick with just collecting vintage pieces. I actually use this one a lot more than this. I know this is leather and this is fabric. It's denim and leather. So obviously there's a weight difference. This one is a lot heavier because it is a full leather bag. I do appreciate this bag. I think it's beautiful. I purchased it along with my Dior strap to wear crossbody. But to be honest, like the Dior strap with this, it doesn't really crossbody the way I want it to look. It actually looks better with this one because this bag is smaller. So if you look at the size of this one, you can see it is a pretty big size. You would think it would fit more, but this one actually fits a ton more. So this one is smaller, it is more narrow, but because of the material and because this is Velcro, it actually squeezes a lot in here. So I'm able to fit like all my essentials, if not maybe even a little bit more. You do obviously still have to kind of maneuver your items around and strategize like what fits in this smaller section versus a bigger section. But honestly, it doesn't bother me. One of the things I appreciate about this bag is for some reason, the strap to this feels a lot more comfortable to wear. I think maybe it's because of the weight of the bag, but when I open this up, I don't feel it getting caught on the sides like I do with my actual leather saddle bag for some reason. This one, again, is 20-something years old, but is in great condition, which kind of showcases the quality of vintage bags. You can see there's not
much damage on here. Even the hardware looks good. It has a back pocket, very similar. So let me take you through the specs of this. Again, this part is Velcro. The inside is like a nylon. There is an inside pocket there. And the zipper is super cute. It has this like little CD charm on it. I wasn't a big fan of the Velcro initially, but now that I have this, it's actually really easy to use. I don't mind it. The back pocket is a button that's magnetic, so you can easily get in and out of it with no issues. And it is, again, just lined with leather, and it's just a really functional bag in my opinion. Now, this one has a lot more weight to it because it is a calfskin leather. It is magnetic, which is fine too, honestly. Like, I'm okay with either. This one I don't use that much, but I'm trying to get more use out of my bags. I've been trying my best to reach for it. It doesn't have any, but I do notice that when I do wear my strap with it, you have to be really careful because if you wear it for a long duration of time, this will cause a lot of marks on it. This one also has a back pocket, but there is no button. It is just straight pocket. The inside of this is like a micro suede. The zipper, there is a zipper and stuff. There's no charm or anything like that, but you can see there is just a regular back pocket. But because it's so stiff, this one actually doesn't fit that much. I don't know if it's different when you get the fabric versions with the monogram. Maybe it's different, but this one in itself, it does feel a little different. Because this is heavy, the bag overall, when I open this bag, it always does get caught on these little marks over here, which does get irritating sometimes, but you know, kind of just work around it. Overall, both bags are beautiful, but the price point obviously is a lot different. This is like double the price of the other one, which is obvious, right? As vintage, this is one I picked up from the boutiques. I think if I could do it all over again, I probably would just stick with vintage or buy this pre-love versus like getting it brand new. I don't use this very often, but I do, like, there's like one little mark here. It's so faint. I don't even know if you can see it. You probably can't see it. I mean, I only notice things because I'm really detail oriented and I want my stuff to be as perfect as possible. But you know, there's a story to every bag. So we want to use it and not worry about that kind of stuff. But I'm just calling it out since we're doing a review that, yeah, there's marks on it and this bag is pretty new versus like the other one's like 20 years old. And obviously there's some wear on it, but very minimal. So yes, overall, I just wanted to kind of summarize the Dior saddles versus the Bottega minis. Now, like I said, sometimes you don't really know until you use the bag. I have a lot of hopes and dreams for a lot of bags I pick up because I'm thinking, you know, I can vision using this every single day. It's gonna be just like this, but when I actually get the bag, it's quite opposite. That's kind of how I felt about this one. So again, you don't know until you start using a bag. So what I'm trying to do more of now is buy things pre-love, buy vintage, see if it works out. If it does, and I know it's something I could grab and use all the time, then I would probably invest in the boutique version. So that is it, you guys. Hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully this answers any questions between vintage and new. It really is just a personal preference. I personally still like both and probably will purchase both. But again, like I want to try it out kind of before jumping in to paying that full price. Yeah, and that is basically it. Again, if you guys ever have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below. And like always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.